Bobby, did they ever catch that gorilla that escaped from the zoo and punched you in the eye? Okay, so yeah, my eye's still messed up. For everybody that watches my videos all the time, I don't look like this, but I figure I would make a joke, kind of lighten the mood a little bit. You know, that is a scene from The Waterboy with Adam Sandler in it. For those of you who haven't watched that movie, I think it was like 97, 98, 99 or something when it came out. Go back and watch it. But welcome to chess, ladies and gentlemen. All right, cool. So I'm gonna have to be honest with you. I really didn't feel like making a video today. I felt really crappy all day. And I honestly didn't even know they were playing chess today. But I went ahead and checked and saw that they were. Now they're playing the knockout portion. So the knockout has. Okay, so the knockout has. Let me see. Duda. Yeah, so we got Duda, Aronian, Rajabov, Giri, Carlson, Maxime Vischer-Legrave, Wesley So, Daniel Dubov, right? So those are the the 8 finalists at least. So we're getting to the knockout, so I guess we're going to get down to 4 after this. We're going to have the finals coming up. So I'm glad for Wesley So getting in there. For all of my people from the Philippines, Magandang Umaga. I believe I said that right. Let me just check. Magandang Umaga. Right, I got it. Kumusta? Salamat, Maraming Salamat for coming through and checking out my videos. Kai Bagan, appreciate it very much. I've been learning quite a bit of Tagalog, so you never know, I might be able to have full conversations with y'all at some point. But if you guys are ready, let's go ahead and take a look. I don't know any Polish. Let me look. I don't know any Polish. Okay, I'm gonna have to put that on my list. Learn Polish. So that way I can talk to any Polish people and welcome them to my thing. Constantly working. Okay, cool. If you guys are ready, let's take a look and see what we got for this game. So it's a good one. All right, so we got knight to f3. We got d5, e3, knight to f6. We have c4. We have e6, knight to c3, and we have bishop to e7. Now, there's two different there's two different move orders that you can get to this position. Of course, you can start with an English. For some reason, when I was looking at my chess engine, if you started off with the English with c4, it's called English Anglo-Indian. But starting off with knight to f3, it's called a Reti. So I guess it's just kind of like a hybrid between those two. I don't personally play this myself. I'm more of an e4, d4 player. So, you know, I'm not really ever going to play c4. So, yeah, I'm not super familiar with what it's called. But moving on, we would have one of those two openings. All right, so we have b3. We have castles for black. We have bishop to b2. We got c5. Pawn takes d5. Knight takes d5. Queen to c2. And all of those who are familiar with Wesley So, who follow him, you know that Wesley So loves these queen to c2 situations. So a lot of times he'll play like a Catalan situation, you know, so it'd be like a g3. Bishop g2, be a c4, d4, and then you'll see a queen to c2 situation come up. So that, I would say that is his typical style of play. So this is kind of like, you know, a similar situation that you get into with this. So we see knight to c6. We got h4. We got f5. We have g4. And this is the novelty of the game. It's kind of obvious that it's a novelty though, because I mean, it's G4. You rarely, if ever, see that played, and it is actually a kind of almost losing type of move. It's a very severe bluff by Duda. G4 is not a sound move, and that's, you know, one of the reasons why it's a novelty is because it has never been seen, because you know you don't want to play it and lose. But yeah, like, I mean, basically what he's trying to do. Is he's trying to have, you know, he's trying to have, I guess, he's trying to have Wesley So take here so he can play some type of knight movement somewhere. I don't know. It really just doesn't work in so many different ways, because, I mean, normally what you're doing is you're in a situation where you can actually take the pawn back. So let's say, for example, like the rook had already moved here. When you do push a g4, like, you know, once they take, you can take back with the rook. And so then you can kind of have like a half open file or something. But I mean, this bishop is not really ready to go. This rook is not really, you know, hooked up, ready to go. You know, this bishop is undeveloped. It's just a little bit premature to really go this. So moving on, we see knight takes c3, d takes c3, which isn't the best because it does block this bishop. So we were just saying before that the bishop is not really, you know, kind of doesn't really have the scope or the influence yet. So this doesn't really help it taking with the D pawn. And also you're taking away from the center. So this isn't the most accurate play by Duda. Now they are playing, I think, a faster game. I think it's like a 5-minute type of situation. So they're playing like considerably faster. So it's more like a blitz situation. I'm not sure if they might be playing the same time control, but we do see E5. Bishop to C4 with check. We have king to H8, and then we have knight to G5. And that is another somewhat bluff. And, you know, in all honesty, not taking this pawn here, and then, so not taking the pawn there, that was something that, you know, Wesley So definitely could have done. And for some reason, he really just believed Duda's, you know, his bluff. And he's believing his bluff right now because he does go E4. So he is thinking that there has to be something dangerous with taking here or taking here, opening up this file. But there just isn't anything. It's not, you know, it's not dangerous at all. You know, you do have the ability to possibly go, you know, check here. That might be something. But yeah, it's a situation where, you know, like I said, he's just getting, he's just kind of seeing ghosts. And he's believing Duda's bluff because, you know, a lot of the times when you see like a really crazy move, especially if somebody's higher rated. I mean, of course, Duda is not higher rated than Wesley So, but a lot of the times you'll be thinking, man, there has to be something to this move. Like it could be a trap. So, you know, that's definitely something that all chess players have struggled with, you know, seeing ghosts. I've done it myself a lot. And I'm like, man, I feel like there has to be something there. And, you know, all the time that I don't think that and I take the piece, it's messed up. And I'm like, dang, all right. So we do see rook to D1. Queen comes to E8. We got knight to E6, in which we don't really... I guess we kind of do have to trade a little bit because this rook doesn't really have anywhere to go. Can't really go here. Can't really go here because of G4 or G5. Can't really go over here because you're going to be getting forked and stuff. So you kind of have to trade it off. So bishop takes E6. Bishop takes E6. You got knight to E5. Pawn takes F5. And you have knight to D3 with check. And that is a bone in the throat of white. This is just a really, really... It's actually kind of good for white, but... You're gonna have to give up the exchange because you can't have this knight just like ensconced in your position like this. I mean, it's like this knight is just like forever great right here. Like you cannot have that sit. So we do give up the rook on D3, and so after pawn takes D3, we got queen takes D3. We got rook to D8. We got queen to E4, queen to H5, and this is the point in the game that Wesley So is actually starting to get a pretty clear advantage. You know, this is, you know, of course he's threatening checkmate down here. So that's kind of nasty. You know, we don't want to allow that. So it's just, the position, even though you have two bishops, you know, you are down the exchange. And this is usually very relevant in games when you're down in exchange. So we see F3, just trying to block that checkmate. We got bishop to F6, not allowing, the beautiful C4 move, because you're going to be dropping the bishop, this way. Of course, so we're not going to do that. So we see king to E2. We got rook to D6. We got queen to G4, desperately trying to trade queens. So not only would you get your you know, the queen traded, but you would also improve your structure. And this would actually give you a little bit more of an advantage. I mean, not really an advantage, but it would give you the ability to basically not have your, you know, your position be as bad as it really is right now. So going back. Queen to G4. We do see queen to E8 because Wesley So doesn't want to trade because that's not beneficial for him. So he wants to keep Duda with a bad structure. So we see H5, and this is really just dream chess at the end of the day. This square is so 1000% guarded. This bishop is guarding it. This queen could come down and guard it. The rook could swing over this way. Well, not really like that. I mean, you can develop or something like that and, you know, get some more protection over there if you want. But yeah, that's not... H5 is really not doing anything. It's really just wasting a move. But, you know, as you can see, there's not really a whole lot else Duda can do. So we see queen to D8. And we see bishop to C1. And that, unfortunately, just gives away the C3 pawn. And so it just really didn't do anything. And so you see H6. And then we see G6, and it might, like I said, it might kind of seem like you're opening the position up, but you have some problems with this bishop becoming loose. And also, there is no penetration on these dark squares. because this bishop is perfectly holding the dark square. So there's really no way for you to develop this bishop into the game, and there's really no way for you to checkmate black. We see queen to c4, trying to see if we can't try to throw in a little check here real quick. Now, if you want to go ahead and stop the video right now and see what black played, this is a very nice idea that he plays. So like I said, if you want to go ahead and stop it real quick and see if you can figure out what he played, go ahead real quick. All right, cool. And so for a lot of you guys that are looking at this, I mean, you have like so much penetration on this d file, and then this bishop is holding this square. So if you guess rook to d2 with check, you recognize that, I mean, white has already given the exchange away, so you can give it back, and you can give it back with some force. And so we have bishop takes d2, really literally only move. And then we have queen takes d2 with check, king to f1. You have queen takes e3. So as you can see, you know, white's pieces are starting to kind of drop a little bit. We see queen to e4 trying to trade again, but we don't. We get away from that. So queen to c1 with check. We see king to g2. We got queen to g5 with check. We got queen to g4. Queen back down to d2. We have king to h3. And so we see pawn takes g5. And we see queen to h5. Now, some of you guys might be wondering, you know, we're taking here and we can take back with the bishop, right? But unfortunately, that actually drops your queen because you would be looking at this situation here. If bishop did take, it's protected for the moment, but you would see queen to h6 with check. And then after king to g2, simply rook to g8 wins the queen. You know, there's just not, you can take here with check. And then you can just simply move the queen somewhere else and get it away. You know, also... let me see, bishop g5. You know, of course you're not going to do that because you're just going to be losing the rook altogether. So, you know, you don't want to do any of that stuff. So we do see, like I said, queen to h5. We got bishop to e5. And there's just really nothing else for you to do. We throw f4 in a way. But the queen takes on f4, and this is actually a position that Duda does resign. Because like I said, there's just no way to defend against anything. I mean, you can't defend this square because there's really nowhere to move. You know, you can try to do something like this, but, you know, you're going to be getting checked here, and then you're going to be picking up the rook. You know, like let's say, for example, you try to guard it this way. This is going to be check, and then that's actually mate. So, I mean, there's not even an escape there. If you did try to do something like queen to h4, this is just going to drop to queen to f3 check. And then after queen to g3, you're just going to be getting mated there. So there's just nothing else that you can do in that position, you know. And then even before that, I mean, all you could really do is just throw the pawn in the way. You know, there really wasn't anything. Like I said, there is no play at all on this diagonal because that bishop is perfectly holding it. So, you know, all of this, like making moves over here and trying to open up files, that was all just dream chess. So, you know, that is that. So that is round. That is the first round in the game 4 of the knockout round. I promise Reginald tomorrow I got you with your re-upload for that video, man. Like I said, I mean, up until a couple of minutes ago, I really wasn't gonna make any videos. I've just been doing my study and stuff here, just trying to recuperate. Hopefully I'm back to normal in a couple of days. But Meraming Salamat, King Maga Kaibagan, Mabuhai. Pa Alam. Appreciate you guys stopping by. And thank you. I will see you guys next time. All right, appreciate it.